On the world news tonight from Bababagide Imo Television, first the headlines. We need to redirect our focus as anti-corruption agency, new EFCC chair. I won't spare corrupt APC members, Olukoyede. Buhari government detained Nnamdi Kanu due to tribalism, lawyer Ejimako cautions Tinubu. No Nigerian primary school teacher should earn less than 250,000 naira, lawmaker. And on sports, Eguavon backs Pesero to win 2023 AFCON. And second sports story, Operation Okonkwo, Arsenal goalkeeper has been a target for Nigeria, recommended by Pinnick. I am Maureen Lawal, the news in detail. The newly confirmed chairman of Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, Ola Olukoyede, has emphasized the need for the commission to redirect its focus as an anti-corruption agency. Olukoyede said this while outlining how he plans to run the EFCC as a chairman during his screening by the Senate on Wednesday. Olukoyede said he has come up with a three-strong approach, chief of which will drive economic development. When this nomination came up, I quickly addressed my mind to the Herculean task so that helped me to come up with a three-strong approach which I call policy objectives. The first has to with focus, and this will drive me and my colleagues if I'm privileged to be confirmed in EFCC. What is my focus of the anti-corruption agency? In Nigeria, we need to redirect our focus. Section 6 of the EFCC Act has given us what an anti-corruption agency should be doing. I believe we should focus on driving economic development. Number 2, we must also create an atmosphere for transparency and accountability in running the government. And also, we must help as an anti-corruption agency to build the international image of this country, because if you don't do that, there is no way you will endear foreign indirect investment, Olukoyede said. He expressed the need for collective responsibility of every Nigerian to agree that corruption is a cankerworm to the country's development and fight it together. The EFCC chair noted that with the way financial crime has overwhelmed the Nigerian structure and system, it will be very difficult to move forward as a country. He reiterated the need not to leave the fight against corruption to the anti-corruption agency alone. Following his nomination as the EFCC chairman by President Bola Tinubu, Olukoyede was screened by the Senate on Wednesday and was confirmed by lawmakers. Also screened and confirmed was Mohammed Amajo as the secretary of the commission. Moving on to the next story. Ola Olukoyede, the newly confirmed chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, has vowed to prosecute corrupt politicians irrespective of their party affiliations. Olukoyede stated this during his screening alongside Mohammed Amajoda, who was also confirmed as the secretary of the anti-graft agency. The confirmation came about 1 week after the appointment by President Bola Tinubu. During his screening, Olukoyede said the EFCC under his watch will be impartial and relentless in the fight against corruption. He said whether an individual is affiliated with the ruling party or not, they will be investigated if linked with financial crimes. Olukoyede further explained what the agency's approach looked like under him. If you are in the ruling party and you dip your hands into what you're not supposed to, you will be called to question. If you are in the opposition and you swallow sandpaper that did not digest, you will also be called to question. President Bola Tinubu had on June 14 suspended Abdurrashid Bawa, the then EFCC boss, to pave the way for investigation into allegations of abuse of office leveled against him. After Bawa's suspension, the president directed Abdulkarim Chokol, the director of operations at the commission, to assume the role of acting EFCC chair, while the Department of State Services, DSS, took Bawa into custody as part of the investigation process. Meanwhile, the Senate also confirmed appointment of Ali Mashehu as the Chief Executive Officer of the National Social Investment Program Agency during Wednesday plenary. Alo Ejimako, the special counsel to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, has suggested why former President Muhammadu Buhari arrested and detained the agitator. Ejimako said Kanu's detention was based on politics of tribalism that have beclouded Nigeria. He maintained that Kanu's detention was not backed by law. Posting on X, he advised President Bola Tinubu against validating such a measure. Politics that based on tribe and ethnicity is doomed to tear a country apart. Kanu was picked up during Buhari's administration due to his agitation for the actualization of Biafra. He was arrested in Kenya and subjected to an extraordinary rendition to Nigeria in June 2021. Following his return to Nigeria, the Nigerian government rearranged him in court. Despite being discharged and acquitted, the Nigerian government has refused to set Kanu free as he languishes in the custody of the Department of State Services, DSS. The Chairman House Committee Representatives on University Education, Abubakar Fulata, has said no primary school teacher should earn less than 250,000 naira. Speaking at one-day National Stakeholders Workshop on the development of a roadmap for the Nigerian education sector 2023-2027, organized by the Federal Ministry of Education in Abuja today, the lawmaker said secondary school teachers and lecturers should earn 500,000 naira and 1 million naira respectively if Nigeria wants to achieve quality education. He said if you want quality education, you must pay the teachers very well. Teachers must also be encouraged as it is obtained in other climes. The nation must declare a state of emergency in education. We must commit at least 25% or 30% of our national budget to education, he said. Speaking, the Minister of Education, Professor Tahir Mohammed, said, our education system is not connected to our society or our economy. We cannot say for certain that we are key contributors either locally or globally to the idea which push societies forward. He said they cannot go on like this and must do something in line with the aspiration of the president. While noting that the vision is there and problem always has been meeting the gap between the vision and mission and the actual happening on ground, he said, when we receive briefings from agencies, we will see fantastic policies on education, but the problem is that our people do not see those policies on ground. They are not seeing the problem addressed and no longer seeing the value of sending their children to school. Professor Mamin said there is a high number of unemployed graduates because the quality of education they are getting does not connect them to the industries, and the industries are complaining that they are churning out graduates that are unemployable. The Ondo State House of Assembly says it will consider a political solution to its dispute with Deputy Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa if he withdraws his case against the Assembly at the court. Mr. Aiyedatiwa filed the cases at the Federal High Court and State High Court last month after the lawmakers began proceedings for his removal from office over allegations of gross misconduct. The development is heavily linked to a rift between Mr. Aiyedatiwa and Associate of Governor Rotimi Akeredolu, who last month returned from a 3-month medical leave in Germany. Since his return, Mr. Akeredolu has not set foot in the state, fueling concerns that he has not recovered from his ailments enough to resume governance of the state. The new position of the lawmakers followed the intervention of the All Progressive Congress APC, which set up a reconciliation committee on the crisis in its Ondo State chapter. The committee is headed by former Katsina Governor Aminu Matsari. The Assembly had suspended the proceedings after the Chief Judge of Ondo State, Olusegun Odushola, declined its request to set up a 7-member panel to investigate the allegations made by the lawmakers against Mr. Aiyedatiwa. Mr. Odushola said this decision was informed by an order of the Federal High Court restraining him from acting on the matter pending the determination of Mr. Aiyedatiwa's suit before the court. A National Youth Service Corps member serving in Kaduna State, Charles Silas, has been killed in Banawa area of Kaduna, South local government area of Kaduna State, on Wednesday by phone robbers. Confirming the incident, the Kaduna State Police Public Relations Officer, ASP Mansur Hassan, told correspondent that Chila was armed by the armed robbers while she was out for morning jogging exercise, following her resistance and releasing her phone to the assailants. According to the police spokesperson, the divisional police officer, DPO, and area commander in the area have been directed to bring the perpetrators to book, adding that a manhunt for the perpetrators had already commenced. He expressed optimism that those who carried out the evil act will never go unpunished, stressing that the police will engage every necessary measures to ensure that they are apprehended and made to face the full wrath of the law. Information available is that she was on a morning jogging with earpiece on her ear. Then the robbers attacked her for the phone, which she resisted, and one of them on the motorbike did the act, and before she could be rushed to the hospital, she was confirmed dead. Sunday, Oyisi Ufa, a teacher with Ali Army Secondary School at Abo in the Ika North East local government area of Delta State, has been reportedly flogged to death by an aggrieved parent. Information learned that a tragic incident occurred yesterday. A source said that the drama started after certain students of the school allegedly scaled the school fence to steal and drink an old man's palm wine. The old man subsequently reported to the school authority. The students were immediately identified and then flogged as part of a disciplinary measure. One of the students informed his father after school. He then made several threatening calls to the late teacher. The parent later showed up at the school. After a long argument, the parent flogged the late teacher, who is in the process slumped. The teacher gave up the ghost before they got him to Abo Central Hospital, the source said. The late Ufa was described as a Christian, physics teacher, and a child evangelist for decades, mentoring and leading children to Christ. The Delta State Police Command spokesman, DSP Wright NFA, who confirmed the incident, said noted that the father of the student had been arrested. Tragedy struck in Isaleoja area of Ilorin this morning as vehicle belonging to Nigerian Correctional Service crashed to death in the area. The vehicle, which was in a convoy of 3, was conveying prisoners to court when the incident happened. The driver of the vehicle was said to be driving against the traffic when he ran into a gathering of Okada riders by the roadside, crushing 2 to death. From Kwara State, we go to the foreign story. An Israeli strike killed the head of the Hamas-led National Security Forces, Jihad Medicine, and members of his family in their house, a Hamas-aligned news agency reported. IDF spokesperson Peter Lerner, "We are determined to restore safety and security to our people." The head of Hamas security forces was killed, along with family members, in an Israeli airstrike on their house as Israel continued its bombardment of the war-torn Gaza Strip to destroy the terrorist group. Jihad Medicine, a key leader within Hamas, was killed in a airstrike in his home with family. Israel has said it is attacking Hamas terrorists wherever they may be in Gaza, describing them as dead men walking, and accused the group's leader and fighters of taking shelter among the civilian population. Moving on to sports. Austin Eguavoen believes in the Super Eagles have the potential to win the next year's Africa Cup of Nations. Eguavoen, the NFF's technical director, in a chat with BRL, argued that Jose Pesero's team is among the favorites at the tournament, but also although it will indeed be a challenging task. "We have been craving to try to get Nations Cup back since 2013. We have not been able to achieve that feat because we know we have the capacity, we have the quality and everything to be able to win it," the former coach said. But to say it is easy to achieve is another thing, so everybody has to work towards the same goal. Support the team whichever way you can. Support the coaches and the players have to go out there and do the job. The Super Eagles will slug it out with host Cote d'Ivoire, Equatorial Guinea, and Guinea-Bissau in Group A of the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations coming up January next year. And to the second sports story, maybe could bring a succor to Nigeria's goalkeeping issues. The issue of a reliable goalkeeper has become a major talking point in Nigerian football cycles ahead of the start of the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations and 2026 World Cup campaign qualifier. The jury is out on Omono Nikosa glovesman Francis Uzoho as a credible goalkeeper following his schoolboy errors in Nigeria's last 2 internationals against Saudi Arabia and Mozambique. The top candidate fans and pundits have in mind to solve the Super Eagles goalkeeper crisis is SC Freiburg's Germany Under-21 international Noah Atubolu. But even Jose Pesero has admitted that it would be difficult to convince him to switch his nationality from Germany to Nigeria. Another goalkeeper highly tutored by the fans is Arsenal-owned player Arthur Okonkwo, who has earned first-team experience at Crewe Alexandra, Stone Grass, and Wrexham. Information can consistently report that the Hell End Academy graduate has been a target for Nigeria Football Federation. Former Nigeria Federation boss, now FIFA Council member Amaju Pinnick, an advocate of players with dual nationality, recommended Okonkwo to Janet Rowe a few years back. Janet Rowe admitted that he had Okonkwo on his radar, but told Pinnick the Arsenal goalkeeper was too young to be invited to the senior national team. Having come of age, Okonkwo is the most feasible option in the search for a reliable goalkeeper, considering the fact that Atubalu is leaning towards playing international football for his country of birth, Germany. With our sports story, we've come to the end of today's world news from Baba Bagide Imo Television. Before we go, some headlines. We need to redirect our focus as anti-corruption agency, new EFCC chair, Olu Koyede. I won't spare corrupt APC members, EFCC boss Olu Koyede declared. Buhari government detained Mazi Nnamdi Kanu due to tribalism, Ejimako. No Nigerian primary school teacher should earn less than 250,000 naira as salary. On sports, Egwavon backs Pesero to win the next AFCON for Nigeria. For updates of our broadcast on YouTube, our handle is Baba Bagide Imo Television. Kindly subscribe and click on the notification bell, select option all to access all of our broadcasts. On Facebook, Bagide Imo with Alariye Adebayo. Please like and follow the page. For advert placement of goods and services, coverage of events and function, please dial the phone number streaming on your screen. Thank you for watching. I am Moriri Rabila Lawal. Good evening.